Hey, what's going on, everybody? Zach here with Brand Wound Pickups, and welcome back to another episode of Rewind Time. So today, we have a cool pickup, as per usual. So this is a 1956 Fender Stratocaster pickup, and it has seen better days. Unlike the last few pickups we've done on Rewind Time, this pickup is actually original. It looks pretty untouched. I think this just came right out of the guitar. So, it is it's crusty. Take a look at the magnets. See how rusty those are? That's probably going to be an issue. I would imagine that's what killed this pickup. But we'll see. We will try to save it. So 1956, let's talk specs here for a second. We have Formvar wire on here, which back in this day is always nice and dark. It's just a really cool color. We have black wax here in 1956, or at least this one does. I've seen clear in 56 as well, but this one's black, so they wax potted it in wax after it was done winding, and early on, you know, kind of early 50s up through 56, 57, 58, they use black wax for whatever reason. I don't know why, but it looks cool. So when you use the black wax, it kind of dyes the white lead wire black for the first few inches. And on the Telecaster pickups, it actually dyed the string black. I don't think I have one sitting around here. I do not. But the string was white on all those pickups, and the reason it's black is because of the wax. But anyways, I think we've talked about that before. So black wax, Formvar wire. We have bevels on the flat work at this era. So focus here. You can kind of see that. The edge of the flat work there is kind of beveled. It's on this side as well. There you go, you can kind of see it. And there's bevels on the top of the flat work as well. The magnets have a little bit of a bevel on them, just kind of a mix. Not as heavily beveled as some of the late 50s and early 60s stuff. Yeah, cool pickup though. So, this obviously doesn't work. So we're going to try to save this real quick, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to heat up these two little solder joints on the bottom, which I'm going to assume somebody has already done because they look kind of shiny, but we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Sometimes that will rejuvenate the pickup. I don't think it's going to in this case because it's very rusty, but we'll give it a shot. Why not? Okay, we're just reflowing that old solder in the hope that it'll kind of, you know, bring some life back into it. Sometimes that does work. I don't think it's going to in this case, but let's find out. Got our meter here. Nope, it's still dead. That's what I figured. So, the next thing would be to undo the finish wrap and start taking a few windings off and see if there's a break somewhere, which I don't think there is. This pickup is very rusty. We've talked about this before. Fender pickups die because the magnets rust and it eats the wire. Fender dipped these in lacquer before they wound them, and they thought that would insulate the magnets from the wire. However, you know, once you get 60-something years of playing out of it, and it starts getting all rusty, the rust eats through the lacquer, which then eats into the wire and kills the pickup. So this will most likely need a rewind, but I am going to take a closer look at it here off camera, and then we will come back once I've figured out if this needs rewound or not. Be back in a minute. Alright guys, so I took a bunch of wire off of this thing. I don't think there's any breaks in here. I'm pretty sure this pickup is just dead because of all the rust. So unfortunately, we're going to have to peel the wire off of this, and I'm sure we'll probably see some pretty heavy corrosion in there. Check out the wire color now. So now that I took a bunch of windings off of it, you can see what the color of the Formvar really looks like. Looks a lot lighter now, right? That's because we were taking that kind of top layer of like the crusty, dirty black wax residue, whatever. But yeah, pretty cool. Unfortunately, we now have to peel it all off. So we're going to do that and then probably show you some rusty magnets. Alright guys, we got all the wire off of this thing. There is a lot of corrosion. Unfortunately, that is what killed this pickup. But that's okay. You know, we can rewind it and it'll still sound great. I mean, you can really see it there. It's kind of hard to pick up on camera, but yeah, we do have rough cast magnets at this era, which is really cool. yeah, still a really neat pickup. So now what we're going to do is get this thing cleaned up. We're going to get the magnets properly insulated so this won't happen again. And we're going to get it on the winder. So 1956, we're going to hand wind this thing because that's what Fender was doing at the time. So yeah, so we're going to rewind it with 42 gauge heavy form bar, which would be the correct spec. We have our old form bar here, which is very crusty inside where all the rust ate it. So let's get this thing on the winder, shall we? Alright guys, so we're winding the pickup now. Like I said, we are hand winding this with 42 gauge heavy form bar, just like Fender would have in 1956. So Fender pretty much hand wound up through about 1964, then they started to machine wind. Gibson, by contrary, pretty much always machine wound from day one. I mean, maybe some prototypes and whatnot might have been hand wound, but pretty much everything they did was machine wound. And once Fender switched to machine winding, they never really went back either, except for you know, some hand wound custom shop stuff now. Alright. Sorry guys, don't have a better view of this. I can't really hold the camera and wind at the same time. Well, I suppose I could, but I would not want to. Just about done here. I do have the other outputs of the other two pickups in the guitar, so hopefully we'll be somewhere in that ballpark. There we are. So we'll break our wire here. And we'll get this thing off the winder. There we are. Alright, there we have it. One rewound coil. So let's go over and get it on the bench. Alright guys, so we got the pickup all wound up here. We're almost done. We're not quite done yet. We got the lead wires back on. Got everything all soldered up. The output is perfect. It's right where I wanted it. We're at about 5.7 to 5.8K. Which is perfect because that's right in line with the other two pickups in the guitar, and they will work nicely together. So the coil is not quite as full as it was before, even though I'm going to guess it's around the same output as what it was. The old form bar wire, the insulation that was on that was super thick, and you know, they were hand wound too, so maybe it could have had a little bit less tension on it. You know, it varied from person to person and pickup to pickup back then quite a bit. But it's still going to sound exactly the way that it should, and it's totally within spec. So now we get to do the fun part, and we get to wax pot this thing. So we actually have black wax here at Brand Wound. We use it for restoration purposes such as this, and we also pot our T50s and T60s replicas of these pickups in the black wax as well. It's messy, but it looks really cool. So I got that cooking over there. We're gonna toss this thing in the pot, and after that, we'll be just about done with this thing. All right, guys, we're all done. Just grabbed it out of the black wax. Everything looks fantastic. You can see it really turned that coil quite a bit darker, which obviously it would. Looks pretty similar to what it did before I took the original wire off, actually. Really cool. We put some dirt and grime on there just to kind of, you know, make it look old again. But yeah. There you have it, one 1956 Fender Stratocaster pickup restored. We got the cover here. Pop that on very carefully. And there you have it. Okay, so that's going to go back to the owner. And we will see you guys on the next episode of Rewind Time. Be sure to check out my YouTube channel, Zach Oswald. We have a lot of pickup restoration videos, pickup demos, vintage guitar demos, all sorts of stuff. So check that out. Check out the Brand Wound various social medias, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So we'll see you guys on the next episode. Take care.